Hey there, floaters. Thanks for joining me again. If you remember my last video, if you were watching, I reviewed this T.A.C flannel jacket from the Float Life. I mistakenly said it was a blem item before. It wasn't, it was a deal of the day. Probably should be a blem, or probably shouldn't be sold at all, because I've had issues with the elbow pads where they're too far out to the side. I did reach out to the Float Life, specifically Brandon. We communicated. He hadn't heard of this issue before, but he was more than happy to refund or exchange the jacket. I wanted to give them another chance. Unfortunately, they didn't have the colors I wanted. They only had pink and orange. I know Bodie likes to rock the pink, but I don't think I can pull it off. In any case, instead, I was able to exchange it for the high vis jacket here. This is usually about $10 more, but they were willing to exchange it at the same rate and free shipping. So, let's see here. It fits a lot better than that particular flannel jacket. So that may just be a one-off for the flannel jacket, because they haven't had those issues before for anyone else. But unfortunately for me, there was an issue. But this jacket does not seem to have that same issue. So this is what it looks like unzipped. I really dig it. You can see there's a little cuff here to help keep the sleeves in place. Doesn't have the thumb hole like some winter jackets that help keep the sleeves in place, but works perfectly fine. The elbow pads, even with this jacket unzipped, are in perfect position for me, so I feel well secured. Shoulder pads sit a little bit far back, kind of like the flannel, but I think it's partly due to this back pad here trying to pull the material backwards. So if I zip it up, and you can see that this is a left-handed zip, just like the flannel jacket over there. The pad does pull forward a little bit. It doesn't cover as much in the front as my other T.A.C jackets that I had from Milwaukee, but this will do the job. One thing I don't like about the zipper is that there's no cover up here, so it is kind of irritating to my sensitive skin. So I will probably be leaving it more open, or have some sort of clothing or scarf to cover it. But I should show you what it looks like with the hood up. It does have these drawstring tabs here, help tighten the hood. And this is what the jacket looks like with the hood up. So that being said, we're gonna put this back down. So I feel well protected. This jacket fits so much better. Thank you, Brandon and the Float Life. This one's a keeper. Float on, my friends.